All right, the third key is to avoid overload. All right, and what do I mean by this? There's two ways to avoid overload here. And the first way to avoid overload is doing fewer songs on Sunday. And a lot of times I talk to worship teams who, they have the expectation that they need to do, 5, 6, 9 songs on a Sunday. If they're like, well, we only do about 4 or 5, but then of course we have the closer, and then there's the special, and there's the choir number, and I'm like, holy cow, that's a lot of songs to learn. And a lot of times these teams could really only handle 3 or 4 songs well. And so if your church has an expectation of like 25 minutes of worship or 30 minutes of worship, it's tempting to think, man, I can have 5 or 6 songs in that amount of time, because, most songs are 5 minutes or whatever. And, but instead of filling up, that time with as many songs as you can, just look for other ways to add other elements in there, like scripture and prayer and reading, that can all be meaningful things of worship, meaningful aspects of worship, and they can engage people as well as a song does. Or look for ways that you can repeat a part of a song. And I'm not my church isn't the kind of church where we could do a song for 12 minutes. We're not a Jesus culture type of church. I mean, we like a few of those songs, but we always do the radio edit. I don't know if your church is like that too, but we're just not that church yet. And so, but there are times when, we do the song and like, hey, let's go back to this bridge and this chorus here. I'm feeling like this could be a great moment. And so rather than have, 5 songs, we're gonna do a little reprise of this bridge and chorus and let people respond in prayer during this part. And then another tactic that I'll use to do fewer songs on Sunday, and keep my team from having to practice a ton of stuff, is I'll just put the chorus and bridge, or just the chorus of a well-known tune, like a classic chorus or a real popular one that everyone seems to know, and I'll put that in and I'll couple that with another song. But some of the things that I'll do is that I've coupled Mighty to Save in with a song, just the bridge and the chorus, and I've put Great I Am. That's the chorus and the bridge are really the obviously the best parts of that song. And so I do this thing where we play Holy, Holy, hymn Holy, 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 and then we end it and go into the mountains shake before you, the demons run and flee. And it's just, it can be pretty powerful after singing Holy, Holy. And we don't need to sing the verses at that point. But it's a way to get an extra song in. People feel like we've sung more songs, but we haven't had to put the work in of all the extra learning of the tune. All right. Now, the other way to have to avoid overload is to keep a manageable song catalog. And funny enough, we're actually going to be looking at this topic at our next webinar, which isn't going to be in December just because of the craziness of Christmas, but we're going to do it in January. So I'll talk about that at the end. But keeping a manageable song catalog, and what do I mean by that, is you need to have a more limited number of songs overall. And a few years ago, I just realized, man, I was killing my team by pulling songs out that we hadn't done for a year and saying, I remembered it, and a few people on the team did, but most of the people were either learning it for the first time or relearning it. And I realized that my congregation didn't sing these songs as well either. And so what I did is I trimmed my catalog down to a smaller size, and I forced myself to choose from within this smaller group of songs, and it really has paid off. And I really had to take some heat from it, because I'd have people on the worship team going, why can't we do this song? We need to do this song. I'd have people in the congregation saying, why can't we do this song? Why can't we do this song? Or here's this new song. Let's do this new song. And I do put new songs in, but I do it really intentional and slow. And I sent this out in a green room email not too long ago, or sent it out in some email. I don't remember now. But one of my worship leaders on my team, he comes to me and he's like, you know what? Because the book I wrote a book on this called The Song Cycle, and he goes, you know what? That song cycle stuff, he goes, it actually is working. And he had been giving me so much grief about it. But he said, people are singing and we know the songs, and so to help your team avoid overload, and to be able to give them the ability to practice their songs and know their songs better is to have a manageable song catalog. That way they don't have to spend time learning 4 songs or relearning 4 songs every week. They're learning maybe 1 song and refreshing another, and then they've got down the other 2 or 3 songs because they've done them before and done them recently. So make sure you come back to that webinar in a couple months, or you can pick up my book, The Song Cycle, on Amazon, and all the money goes actually towards feeding starving children. 4 of them actually that live in this house with me, but it goes to a good cause. All right, the next key